Okay, so after all, still a video. I first wanted to write it down, but yeah, that will take too long, so let me just make a video. We are still in this range. Yesterday we took out the highs right here into supply, and now we have seen a move down. We were right at the middle of the range, so there was not much to tell, but now that we have made a new weekly low, we have some data to work with. So let me explain. This right here was our weekly low, which was set on Tuesday, and this was our weekly high right here. So this was the weekly high, this was the weekly low. Oftentimes the weekly high or low gets put in either on Monday or on Tuesday. Those are the strongest days to put in the weekly pivot. And now that we have taken out one of those levels, it can tell us an important story, what to expect for the rest of the week. If we, for example, look at the data, then we can now see on Tuesday we have P1, on Wednesday we have P2. So if we look at the timing statistics, there is a low P1 flip risk. Only 10% of the weeks take out the weekly high. So based on timing statistics, let's say time, 10% chance to be taken out, which of course is very little. And then unlikely that P2 is in. 82% of the days make a new low after Wednesday, which means that it's very likely that, let's say price bounces up from here, and this is our weekly low then, that it's very likely that we will make a new low either tomorrow or Friday or during the weekend. So that means that a downside is likely. Then we can also quickly look at the distance statistics for Bitcoin. Moderate flip risk, 42% of the weeks took out the weekly high. So based on distance statistics, there's a 42% chance that we will reverse and then still take out this high. So yeah, not too high, but given the time statistics and the overall structure, I'm leaning more towards downside. And then if we also look at the distance statistic, unlikely that P2 is in. 100% of the weeks moved further than 3.2%. And that is one which is very significant, which means that this is our current high, this is our current low, and the distance between those two is 3.2%. Well, if we look at the past, then it shows us that there's 100% probability that on a weekly basis there will be a bigger distance compared to what we currently have. So that means that statistics have switched bearish, and then it's very likely that we will break out of this range, especially this range, which we have been in since Sunday, which is now like 5 days. So then we know our bias for the week is that this high holds and that we will likely make new lows. What I then always like to do is just where have we supply and demand. Well, here we have range lows. From the range lows, if we see local like an accumulation, we can see a bounce, but overall I'm looking for shorts if you're not short already. Then an area to do that is to look, for example, in this supply zone, watch for weakness into that level, and then see if you get a short opportunity, because statistics are pointing towards lower prices. Then we can look at the pivot zones. Let's go right here. The pivot zones, this basically tells you that in 80% of the weeks the P1 gets put in between this level and this level, and then if you have a bullish week, the price moves into this level, and if you have a bearish week, then the price moves into this level right here. If we look at the current data, then we can see that price is still within the P1 zone, but given the fact that this high is very likely to hold, then we can expect at least a move towards the P2 zone, which starts at around 104k. So that's an extra edge to look like now you think maybe I'm not gonna short range lows, but statistics and everything is in your favor. So even if you can get the short here, then the downside is quite high, because from here you can target levels to like 100k, and then this whole move, which was like, if we just put like a range high level here, then if we break down from this range, which statistically seems likely, then this looks like a pretty nasty deviation, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see us test these liquidity levels lower, which would align with our weekly pivots that are showcasing that it is pretty likely that we will at least get to here, and yeah, that more downside is also likely. So that's what I'm expecting for now. If we zoom in some more, then this is of course not the area to get into fresh shorts, but as said, range lows, you can always look for your signals, but I would not blindly short long here. You can just wait for clear signs, maybe take a long here to ride it up into this level, but overall you want to look for shorts. At least that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, that was a quick video I wanted to make to showcase what happened and how we got new data to work with since we have taken out one of our weekly levels. If instead from here we started to push up, then everything would be reversed, in which this would be a very strong low, and then we could aim for new all-time highs. But yeah, now data is telling us that lower prices are likely, that we will likely break down from this range into 104k levels, maybe even lower. So yeah, that gives an edge what you want to do. Either weakness here, then get into a short, or if we break down from the range, then you can look for a retest of that range low level and maybe there get into shorts. Because oftentimes people think they are too late to the move when you are seeing this price action, but often that's not the case, because even if you get the bearish retest here and you see weakness like this, then you can still get into a short there, stop in the range because you don't want to see a range reclaim, and then still aim for that 104k, and then still get your 2R or more. If you get a refined clear stop loss and so even more. But now you know that the most likely scenario is that we will see new lows. So yeah, that's a great thing to know. So yeah, basically that was what I quickly wanted to share. Is there something else in the dashboard that I wanted to know? Yeah, probably for the most coins, the buys will be bearish right now, which we can see clearly right here. Like the week is not showing the signs yet. We'll probably do it soon, but current day strong bear signals session. So yeah, trend is down, and today and tomorrow is also the Bitcoin conference, which almost always leads to downside, and the whole market. Yeah, we had crazy bullish news, but the market sold off on that. So yeah, some more downside the next few days seems most likely. So that was what I wanted to quickly tell. Cheers.